What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back for a brand new episode of Umineko When They Cry. Last time we were on, Ange made the final stand against Bador as she and Avatrice and Erica fought each of them in order to take the Book of Truth, aka Ava's diary, in which she wrote down the truth of what happened on October 4th and 5th of 1986. And so it was a long battle with future goats that are supposed to represent future interpretations on the Wokojima massacre, quite literally consuming the entire island, all of them deeming that what happened there on Wokojima those 2 days was a tragedy, and that nothing else could fit into how Ava was the only one that came back alive. After a long, heartfelt battle between Bador and Erica and Ange versus Beatrice, she finally got the book, and they left. They won. So right now, Ange has the Book of Truth, and, well, she's going to open it. And whatever the truth is inside this diary, whatever it is, it will kill the possibilities. It will kill every possibility that has been presented so far within these last 130 hours. I mean, that's how a book ends. That's how a mystery ends. Once you get to the end of it, once you get to the grand reveal, it kills everything else. It recontextualizes every other scene within the entire game, or the entire series the mystery's built on. Once you open that door, once you see that truth, you could say it's the death of the story. Because once you find out that truth, you're not going to view the story any other way from then on. All those possibilities, all those theories, all those, ways that murders could have happened, it'll be gone in the wind as we finally find out what did happen on Wokojima that day. And this entire episode has kind of been building up to that. It has kind of acknowledged it. The characters in the game themselves acknowledge that once the grand reveal happens, that'll be it. It's not like we can unlearn things. Hell, they commented on that last episode as well, of the nature of truth itself. That the more we learn, the closer we get to death, really. It's not like we can unlearn a truth. We can never re-experience a story truly blind ever again. We can only have memories of that first experience with a story. Or, we could record them like I do. But it's such a fascinating stance that this game's taken, because it's true, really. It's just that no other story I've come across has really acknowledged it to this degree, at least. A comment I want to mention from that last episode is that between the battle between Bador and Erica in the manga at least solves episodes 5 and 6, which, once again, I have to say, I'm surprised that the Umineko manga really adds so much from what you guys have told me. So I'm kind of curious about that. Maybe really one of these days I'll do a read through of the manga, because it sounds like there's quite a bit of stuff in it. And plus, I've seen some of the panels and artwork from the manga, and I really like the art style. So, hey, maybe if I'm desperate enough for views, I'll do it. But anyway, I've been delaying it long enough. Let's get into it. Let's get into the truth. It's been building up for 2 years by this point. No, 3 years? 2. God, it's been so long. I started this in 2023? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2023, so it's been about 2 years since then. Overall, this entire When They Cry series has been 4 years? Nearly 5? God, it's a lot to think about. But enough reminiscing, let's get into it. The Book of the Single Truth was sealed in crystal by Battler. Until the seal is undone, I can't even stick the key in the keyhole.
あんたには解けるのよね。
Ooh, what is this?
その封印。
Looks like a library.
もちろん。
They were in a vast, dimly lit space. To sum it up in a phrase, it was like a trench in the ocean floor. No, that's not quite right. It was a library. However, the number of books and the height of the shelves vastly surpassed all of those that existed in the world of humans. If height is a measure of greatness, then the gods must surely be giants taller than mountains. This place appeared to be a library big enough and grand enough for such gods. Each individual book was no larger than those from the human world. However, the shelves holding them stood like the walls of a valley, or rather a deep-sea ocean trench. So Ange and the others looked like little more than a few small butterflies who had wandered into this vast library. A library of every story ever told or ever will be told. Like minuscule deep-sea fish swimming about all alone in an ocean pit.
これは封印じゃなくて氷みたいなものよ。バトラの手から奪えば日向に置いとくだけで時間をかければ勝手に溶ける程度の脆いもの。手っ取り早く打ち砕けないの？あんたは冷凍サンマをハンマーで叩いて解凍するの？ごめんね、家庭科は一致なの。子猫たち、この封印の解凍を。
Here comes the kitties. All the Nekos. When Burncastle whispered from the dark ocean pit deep below them, several emerald green glints appeared and gathered like a school of fish. Burncastle threw the Book of the Single Truth down to them, and only after several seconds passed, the school of fish seemed to gather around it and carry it away. Those few seconds made it clear just how deep this bookshelf trench went. Ange was once again dumbfounded by this unimaginably vast and godly library.
あとはあの子たちに任せておけばいいわ。本当に私に中を読ませてくれるんでしょうね。あなたが望むならそれは叶うわ。そして私だってあなたのその鍵がなければ読むことが叶わない。
Ange silently gripped the golden key in her pocket. The journey has been so long and so strange. In search of the truth from 12 years ago, I left my home, met President Okonogi, met Hamakusa, and at some point, that adventure became wrapped in the illusion of the witch. However, here I am. Ushiro Mira Eva's diary is here. The truth inside of it is sitting right before me.
しばらく休みなさい。私もあんたの相手だけをしていられるほど暇じゃないの。別に疲れてなんかいないけどね。エリカ、エンジェにお茶でもご馳走しなさい。はい、我が主。
Erica popped into existence out of nowhere and bowed to her master.
ベルンカステル、もしあんたが私をうまいこと利用して本と鍵を奪おうと考えているなら。貴様、我が主に向かってなんて口を。ごめんなさいね。魔女とずいぶん長くやり合ってたせいで普通の言葉は信用しないことにしてるの。いいわ。赤き真実で約束してあげる。一なる真実の書を 封印が解けて一番最初に読むのはあなた、エンジェよ。これでいい？
For some time, Angie considered the witch's words, searching for some sort of trap hidden within them. There's no guaranteed greater than the witch's wet truth. Angie understood this well enough. If she started to doubt even this red truth, there would be nothing left to trust in this entire world. If she began to suspect even this, then even the truth would no longer be a truth.
まだ不満なの？何も。
She wanted to read the book of the single truth she would need Berncastle's assistance. Angie finally realized that she had nothing to gain by complaining more and knowing to switch further.
封印が解けたらすぐに呼んでちょうだい。もちろんよ。私だって早く読みたいもの。すぐに呼ぶわ。
Burns spun away from them, then vanished into the dark bookshelf trench. Angie saw a school of emerald green fish appear and fall behind Berncastle. Could these be her familiars? As she stared at the emerald whites that resembled some sort of deep-sea fish, Angie was poked from behind.
行きますよ。同志エンジェ。気持ち悪いからエンジェでお願い。
Comrade.
じゃあ私のことはエリカ様でお願いします。行きましょう、同志エリカ。
Goddamn communists. Was this Wilfish all over again? The bear began to swim in the direction Erica indicated. Swim seemed a better word for it than fly.
ここは何なの？図書館って呼ぶにはあまりに広大すぎるわ。
Library Babble.
どうせ覚えられませんから、図書館とでも呼ばれたらどうです？覚えるかどうかは私が決めるわ。言いなさいよ。尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある図書の都です。やっぱ、
yeah,
図書館でいいわ。
It's a bit of a tangent of name.
言うと思いました。
The City of Books. Yeah, the name fits. The bookshelves on either side of this canyon are skyscrapers. If I think of those emerald green whites rolling beneath us as headlights on the highway, then this really does seem like a city of books.
ただの本じゃないんでしょ？これらは。ええ。これら一冊一冊が重厚な群衆劇をまとめたもの。
An ensemble. Hey, I do love myself an ensemble cast.
ここでは本に見えますが、本を開けばそこには本当に世界があるのです。私たちの長い物語もこの中の一冊でしかないのね。
Man, I'm so glad I'm using my banner as a bookshelf. Really fits in with this.
遥か上層の霞んで見えないくらいに上層の大魔女はもはや神や造物主と同じ存在です。そんな連中から見れば私たちの物語なんて果たして一冊にまとめる価値があるかどうか。
From a theater goer's perspective, our individual lives are hardly worth anything at all. If they're recording the entire world in a single volume, then my life probably isn't worth a single line.
でも私たちは主人公だわ。私もあんたも。そうです。神々の物語に記されることがなくとも、私たちが記す自らの物語の主人公は常に自分なんです。
Yeah.
それを自覚できるかできないかが魔女と人間を分ける最初の分かれ道。
fast library. Billions upon billions. They were on a balcony, which was a really room-sized section that had been dug out of a bookshelf with no guardrail along the cliff. It didn't go in very deep, so it looked like a room that had been cut in half. It was filled with the tools of everyday life, as though this was Erica's hidden house.
我が主よりお茶を振る舞いとの命令ですので、飲む気がなくてもロートを突っ込んで流し込みますから、そのつもりで。それやったらお抹茶を振る舞うわよ。抹茶？なんでもないわ、こっちの話。
Ignoring Erica as she made tea, Ange looked down upon the bizarre otherworldly scene below. Until Erica finished getting the tea ready, the scene held Angie's gaze like it was sucking out her soul.
こう言っちゃなんですけど。何？真実を得るために命を投げ出す契約なんてよくもしたもんですね。生きて何かするあてもないなら、私にとって残りの人生を投げ出すことなんて対価としては安いものだわ。我が主も物好きな方です。こんな無気力女の無価値な命と引き換えに契約なさるなんて。
Angie chuckled, not bothering to argue. That was exactly right. How incredible that bone castle would lend her power to a worthless wife that was trying to throw itself away.
まあ、我が主は奇跡を司る魔女ですから。だからあんたみたいな無価値な女の前にも姿を現すのでしょう。そうね。ベルンカステルが現れなくても、私はあの日あの虚空へ一歩を踏み出していたのだから。安い女。じゃああんたにはそれだけの価値が？私ですか
Well, depending on the price Castle makes on her, so. The way Erica cackled was disturbing. Still, Angie realized that this was her way of answering the question. People don't become witches of their own choosing. If they're capable of living, all people want to live their lives as humans. When something comes along to trip up that life, that's when the road to living as a witch opens. Even Furuto Erica, who calls herself the Witch of Truth, must be like this. The two witches of truth, sitting here drinking tea without even looking at each other, are exactly the same.
私は真実を暴くのが好きです。知ってるわ。隠し事を暴き、相手がどうしてバレたんだと青ざめるのを見るのが大好きなんです。その瞬間、私は真実に至ったのだと確信し、恍惚を覚えます。
It's not really you want the truth, Erica. It's more like you want the satisfaction of solving the truth. Or to impress others, really.
執念の悪いやつ。じゃあ、あなたにとって真実は何だと言うんです？
Angie was about to give an immediate answer, but she bit back her words. Then she gulped, not knowing how to respond. After all, to Angie, the truth itself was the goal. At first, it was out of hatred. Could Ushio Mira Ava, the sole survivor of Wakajima, be the culprit behind everything? She hated Ava, but she had no proof that her aunt was the culprit, and of course Ava never talked about what happened on that island. So at first the truth meant proof that Ava was the culprit in Angie's eyes. However, that feeling withered away with Ava's death. Now that Ava was dead, even if Angie did find some kind of proof, it wouldn't mean anything. So eventually, the truth Angie wanted to find became nothing more than the simple desire to know what happened on Leather Island that day. However, one thing was obvious. Even if she did find out the truth, that wouldn't bring any of her family back to her.
意味なんてないのかもね。意味もなく大好きなお兄ちゃんが隠す真実を暴く？あんたこそ意味がわかりません。
Erica laughed mockingly. Angie laughed too, as though she agreed.
だからね、私にとっての真実は目的に変わったの。生きるための理由とでも言えばいいのかしら。じゃあ真実にたどり着いたらもう生きる意味も目的もなくなっちゃいますね。そうよ。だから死ぬの。もういいじゃない。12年も余計に生きたのよ。そんな私に最後の瞬間くらい願いを叶えてくれる魔女が現れてもいいとは思わない？ぶっちゃけると生きるのにもう疲れたの一言でようやくできちゃいますね。そうよ。だから私の存在も生きる目的も何もかもが無意味。一なる真実の書にたどり着くという目的はそんな私に人生最後のちょっとしたきらめきを与えてくれたわ。その一点でだけベルンカステルには感謝してるわ。なるほど。バトラはあんたに生きてほしいからあんたの死ぬためのゴールを隠してるわけですね。バトラさんに初めて登場します。
Just find the truth and then die, huh? It's... God. Find the truth and then just die. I wanna say, you know, like, how could you throw your wife away like that, Angie? But with everything she's gone through, I understand why she's come to this point. She just wants to do this one last thing before she rejoins her family. Because she has no one else in the world, you know? She has nothing else besides a fucking billion yen, or million yen, or whatever.
妹は選べないですからね。
Sorry, Oni-chan. I'm tired of life. For 12 whole years, I've been living off nothing but the illusion that someone might come home someday. Just let me find peace already. Finding the truth of that day is how I've chosen to mark the end of my life. For 12 years I've believed in a miracle, but there was no miracle. I won't believe in miracles anymore.
一なる真実の書。内心は私も興味津々でしたが。
Of course.
そんな、あんたの人生のピリオド扱いじゃ、大した真実は記されてなさそうですね。そうね。最初は、経典同地の何かが記されているかもと期待したわ。でも、今は何というか、冷めてる。無価値なあんたが求める真実なんてどうせ無価値です。それがあんたという無価値な人生のピリオドにふさわしいでしょう。ええ、きっとそうなのよ。
Angie was already starting to realize something. Regardless of Ava's reason for staying silent, the real events of that day probably weren't anything earth-shattering. Some sort of malfunction made the bomb of that secret underground base explode. Yes, it was just an accident. Could be that, you know? But the public already believed that some sort of conspiracy surrounded the events of that day, so that's what they expected. Ava was a suspect herself, so of course no one would believe her claim that nothing strange happened. Naturally, Ange didn't believe her either. In that case, shutting up like a clam would be better than the alternative. It was hardly surprising that Ava chose to say nothing.
今は達成感なんて全くない。よくわからない気だるい疲労感があるだけよ。真実の魔女は真実に耐える力があるからこそ真実の魔女なのです。同志エンジェ、あんたにはどうやらその力がないようですね。あったなら死のうなどと思わないのですから。そうね、私は誰かが帰ってくるかもしれないという幻想に12年もすがった。私がベアトリーチェの猫箱に都合よく真実を隠して12年も真実を拒否していただけに過ぎない。一なる真実の書を読んだらあんたはどうなるんでしょうね。さあ、契約に従いベルンカステルがちょんと私の首でも鎌で買ってくれるんじゃない？あるいはまたひき肉かしら。今度こそ塩と胡椒を練り込まれるわね。なるほど。だからひき肉なわけですね。何か言った？いいえ、何も。それよりおかわりはいかがです？ノーサンキュー。
Ange wistfully gazed down from the balcony with no hand well, down into the darkness of the abyss at the bottom of the bookshelf, revealing, the gap between the bookshelf skyscrapers. From the beginning until the end of my journey, I haven't taken a single step away from the spot. This journey of mine, not even a single step long, will end soon. Still on that rooftop, looking over the edge.
あの底を流れてる光の行列は何？ああ、大アウローラ教のパーティーの客人たちの行列でしょ。
Of course she has a party.
客人？元老院の大魔女たちや退屈から逃れる永遠の旅の途中の航海者たちや数百年の眠りより目覚めた偉大なる大魔女たちから未来世界を牛耳る魔女や魔女狩りの貴族たちまで、今夜は大きなパーティーが催されるようですよ。
Of course.
お誕生パーティーでもするの？無限の魔女大ベアトリーチェ教は辺境の魔女なれど、その優れた魔法体系により無限の物語を生み出す無限機関ベアトリーチェの猫箱を生み出した天才魔女だそうです。私からすれば爪の甘い間抜け魔女なのですが、どうやら大魔女の世界ではちょいと知られた有名人のようで。
An endless tale.
ベアトリーチェの誕生会でもやるわけ？我が主はベアトリーチェの腹渡でもつ鍋パーティーと言っています。だってそうじゃないですか。一なる真実が存在しないから猫箱は無限の物語を生み続けたのです。しかしこの世にあんたの鍵によって一なる真実が明かされます。そしてそれは猫箱が開かれることを意味する。まさにベアトリーチェを生きたまま腹を引き裂いてその中身をぶちまけるのと同じことってわけです。そのもつ鍋パーティーにあの高速道路の渋滞みたいな大行列はベアトリーチェの有名さを驚くべきか、 あの連中のゲッサにヘドが出るのが先かわかりかねるわ。あんたにとって一なる真実の書の中身は単なるピリオドに過ぎない。でもロッケン島ミステリーを感激する者たちにとってはこれは見過ごせないイベントですから。
People love the tale of Beatrice, huh? People truly do love it.
なるほど。あれはお兄ちゃんのゲーム版を食い破ってたヤギどもの行列というわけだもんね。
Ange's analogy was an accurate one. The crowd far, far below them was made up of nobles wearing beautiful outfits and goat masks. They were all so intent on tearing the guts out of Beatrice's cat box that they couldn't even hide the drool trickling from their mouths. Those gluttonous goat nobles who derived pleasure from the violence of exposing the truth were in a line of cars heading towards the meeting place.
猫箱もベアトリーチェもいよいよおしまいなのね。
It's like a death parade.
ベアトたちはゲーム版の最後の食い残し黄金鏡に立てこもってます。バトラとベアトが門番を務め第一陣を壊滅させたようですが第二陣は防げません。我が主は籠城概念破壊の艦隊を与えられました。
Jeez.
黄金鏡の城壁などもはや風前の灯火です。あの島に湧き出したヤギたちは島に惨劇を望む未来の妄言が具現化したもの。そうです。あのヤギたちはネットの海からいくらでも生まれてきます。第一陣など所詮は有象無象。第二陣は違います。
The sea of the Earthnuts.
無数のヤギたちの中から立てこもるすべての駒たち個人個人の否定に特化した再生鋭から編成しています。
Best of the best.
総兵力は10万。
All of the people that analyze, that discuss, people that make videos about it, the elite of the elite.
島に立てこもるほんの数十名を否定するために10万の否定を用意したのです。お兄ちゃんももうおしまいね。
The sea of the internet. I mean, God, this is more true than it was back then, since, what, this was released in, what, 2010, if I remember correctly? Maybe this episode, maybe 2011. But goddamn it, is it as true as it is now? Every single show, every single piece of art being devoured by the internet, by the sea of the internet, you could say. Endlessly analyzed, endlessly interpreted, endlessly ripped apart. Either, well, no. It doesn't matter if the thing is good or not. No matter what, it's going to be ripped apart. Every single scene, every single dialogue, everything will be ripped apart by its seams. And devoured by the sea of the internet. God, it's so true, especially nowadays. It really is. It really fucking is. God.
もう覚悟はされているのでしょう。後ろ宮バトラは1986年に死んでいて、あの彼は猫箱が生み出した幻想であると。ええ、分かってるわ。
Regardless of whether he's my real brother in illusion, regardless of whether he'll like who I'd like him to be or not, the battle who created this game board for my sake will die. No. I'm just going to accept the fact that he was already dead. So it's not like he's actually going to die. Ange thought to herself. Shouldn't performing her brother's West Whites be her responsibility? This was her final trial, which she had assigned to herself. All of those people down on the game board were the personification of Ange's naivety. By denying the existence of all of them, wouldn't she finally be able to accept the truth? No, that's not right. I'm not being honest, even with myself. That bizarre Halloween party may have been an illusion, but that didn't make it any less heartwarming. Yeah. Oni-chan said it himself. True, that Halloween party may have been an illusion. However, he was trying to use that party to tell me something.
その第二陣は我が主より私が指揮官を務めるよう仰せつかっています。お任せを、エンジさん。あなた自らに手を汚させるほど我が主は陰湿ではありません。
Yes, that might be kind of her. These are my lingering attachments we're talking about. I should be grateful to Burn Castle. If she really were cool, she would probably have ordered me to take charge of the second wave and execute my own family.
同志エンジあんたは真実の魔女なんですよね。そうよ、多分。じゃあ受け入れましょうよ。12年を経てようやく本当の一なる真実を。私はここでベルンカステルが封印を解き終えるのを気長に待つとするわ。おそらくはパーティーのゲストとしてあなたは呼び出されるでしょう。姿見はありますので目やにでも取ってたらどうです？あんたこそ出陣前に無駄毛でも抜いてきなさいよ。
It floated there in the empty air. I still can't get over that analogy. It'll be whipped apart by the sea of the internet. Because I know I keep saying it, but I have to restate it. It's so goddamn true. It is so true that everything that comes out now, especially these days, is whipped apart, analyzed. You know, doesn't matter that's good or bad. It is whipped apart, the story itself, whatever story that is out there, viewed through a billion different eyes, a different interpretations, different opinions, different theories. Billion voices that scream out. There's that first layer, the whiff-laugh. Then the second layer, the elite. The people that make those video essays, those retrospectives, those bashings, those reviews, those... I don't know. And you could use any word for it to analyze any piece of fiction. And depending on, the elite's view, well, that's their interpretation, their opinion, and sometimes those with agree with it. It's just the truth of the matter. God, when the hell was this released? Because it's so true, and Ryakushio-7, I mean, he is an otaku, so he understands this shit, and it very much comes through of what exactly it is. Ripped apart. The door to the Golden Land. At its base, there was nothing except some floor tiling about as thick as a log, so it was fairly hard to imagine that this was Kenzo's study. Oh, so this is the door. By this point, all of the game board except the golden land had been eaten away, leaving only this door floating in the sea of nothingness. Wow. There were two shapes in front of that door. They were Bador and Bito. They may not have been literally covered with wounds, but they definitely seemed to be dead tired. Bador, leaning against the door, seemed to have finally caught his breath. Bito was also sitting against the door, letting their legs dangle gracelessly. Could the battle against that force really be called a battle? It was more like a mere pushing contest on the increasingly small bit of ground that remained. They had wanted to protect at least Kinzo's study no matter what, and the only fruit of their desperate struggle was the thin bit of flooring that they were sitting on now. Those goats fell into the abyss whenever they had nowhere to stand. So now, with so much of the floor gone, there was no way for them to attack anymore. If Bador fought this, his naive hopes were quickly crushed.
ゾロリと取り囲んでやがるな。
増援を集め、今度こそ一度に押しつぶそうという魂胆であろう。
Whoa, shit. Stretching across the ocean horizon that surrounded the door at their backs was an encirclement of countless large sailing ships. As they could clearly see, the decks of the ships were packed with goats, with some of the more foolish and overeager ones spilling over the edges into the emptiness below.
すげえな。俺もお前のゲームで随分とおかしな経験をいろいろしてきたが。
Coming in quite literally by the boatload.
海賊船に包囲されるってのは初めての経験だぜ。
おそらく黄金鏡の境を打ち破る力を持つのだろう。あの大砲もはったりではあるまい。あれでこの扉をぶち抜いて一挙になだれ込もうというに違いあるまい。
Along the sides of each ship were several open gun ports, each with a cannon pointing at the door. If this many ships all around them fired all of those at once, there was no point trying to imagine what would happen next. Bador and Bito grimaced and hung their heads.
あの大砲前に黄金鏡の境はどの程度持ちこたえる？
わからぬ。ただあれだけの数を揃えているのにまだ援軍を待つということはおそらく。
確かに降伏勧告もしないで攻撃の手を休める理由はそれしか考えられねえな。
奴らが与えるこの時間が我らに有利に生かせればよいのだがな。
劣勢な側にとって時間はいつだって味方さ。何かの奇跡を期待できるからな。
あるいはさらなる絶望を知ることにもなろうか。
At that moment, something small and hard hit Bador in the forehead.
いて。なんだこりゃ。コンペイト？
私よ。わかったわよ。ベルンたちの居場所が。
The candy was Rema Delta's transformed body. She was the only one of their allies capable of crossing the Sea of Fragments.
おお、さすがはダイラムダデルタ卿。
ここじゃ奴らに姿を見られるわ。中で話をしましょう。一筋縄じゃいかないことになってるわ。
わかった。誰かいるか
？When Bador knocked on the door, it opened, and Shannon Cannon came into view.
はい、お呼びですか？
Of course.
すまぬが見張りを頼む。お任せを。
奴らが攻撃を開始したら戦う必要はない。すぐに黄金鏡に逃げ込め。扉を閉めなくていい。
しかしそれでは。
奴らは扉なんか無視して ここで仁王立ちしてたってもう何も防ぐことはできやしない。
わかりました。
ここは僕たちに任せて中で対策を。
うん、しばらく頼むぞ。
Badoran beats out traded places with Shannon and Cannon and return to the Golden Land. I guess we have been to the Golden Land. A gentle rain poured down over the Golden Land's rose garden. The weather had reflected the hearts of those inside it. The quiet way falling raindrops spoke for the pain felt by those who could do nothing but hide here, waiting for the enemy's final assault. When they returned to the arbor, the piece of conpeto flew out of Badwar's pocket. What the hell is conpeto? Like some probably Japanese candy. Jumped onto the table and returned to its original form.
久々よね、こんなスリル。まさか魔女にもなってこんなハラハラした目に遭うなんて夢にも思わなかったわ。
それでエンジェやベールンカステルたちは一体どこに？
図書の都よ。
聞いたことがあります。海を渡る偉大なる魔女たちが集めたさまざまなかけらを書物に記し保管した地があると。
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある図書の都です。
You know, really rolls off the tongue, that name.
大アウローラ教は図書の都の主だ。なるほど、妥当な場所であるな。しかしさすがはラムダデルタ教ね。無数に想定された隠れ家からこんなにも早く居場所を突き止められるなんて。
それがね、簡単に分かっちゃったわ。わかるも何も向こうで大々的に宣伝をしているわ。無限の魔女大ベアトリーチェ教の猫箱の秘密大公開パーティーってね。
なるほどな。奴らがまだ攻めてこぬ理由は援軍待ちではなくパーティーの式次第のせいらしいぞ。
そのパーティーとやらでエンジェの鍵を使って一なる真実の書を公開するということなのか。
そういうことね。アウローラは久しぶりのイベントなんで各界から賓客を集めて大パーティーを催してるわ。一なる真実の書はそのパーティーの最後の目玉になるでしょうね。
エンジェと鍵を取り戻すチャンスはまだあるってことか。
時間的猶予という意味ではね。ただとてもシンプルかつ当然な問題が。
なんだ？
図書の都は元老院の管理下にある聖域よ。神聖な結界が張られている。元老院の魔女以外は踏み入ることさえできない。
Oh, that's bad.
パーティーの招待客には元老院に席を持たぬ者もいるので。
ええ、いるわ。そういう連中には特別に聖域に踏み入ることを許可する招待状が与えられてるみたい。
Invitations, eh?
招待状。
Reminds me of a different library of Unia. Wasn't even being clever with that.
これは面白くなってきましたな。
と私も思ったわよ。
Don't worry, I haven't played it. Just two of my friends are really obsessed with Project Moon.
ところがこの招待状、遅刻厳禁でパーティー開始時刻までに入場受付をしてないと自動的に効果を失う優れもの。そしてお気の毒なことについさっきパーティーが始まっちゃったわ。
Well, shit.
つまり遅刻した来客の誰かから招待状を奪うという手はもう。
そういうことで、どうすんのこれから。誰かポップコーンもらえる？今度キャンディーフレーバーがいいわ。
門外漢で恐縮だが もはやお手上げに思えるね。
I think we can still do that moon tourism though, Kraus. I feel like that's gonna take off really.
私たちはもうおしまいなのですね。
ここで座ったまま奴らが襲ってくるまで待ってるしかないの。何かできることがあるはずだわ。
そうね。私たちにできることは一つだけあるわ。
それは
1分1秒でも悪あがきして奇跡を待つことや。
The miracle.
奇跡。
つまりこいつはアラモの砦ってわけさ。
私たちに幸福はない。できるのは1分1秒でも持ちこたえて奇跡が起こるのを待つことだけで。
ウリュウ、奇跡って何？エンジェが何かの理由で気が変わってここへ戻ってくる可能性が何百万分の1の確率であるかもしれない。
そのような極小の確率の末ならば、それは確かに奇跡と呼べるであろうな。
私たちはエンジェさんの帰りを待つためにここにいるんです。
ええ、エンジェさんの帰る場所は私たちのいるここだけなんです。だから私たちは最後の1秒までここを守って彼女の帰りを待たなければならないんです。
留守をお預かりすることこそ使用人の役目。こうとなればこの号だ。もう覚悟は決まっております。
バトラ様、我ら一同すでに覚悟は決まっております。
シエスタ姉妹この得体一同、盟約に基づき最後まで大ベアトリーチェ教とご一緒するであります。
45、問題ありません。最後まで戦います。ようやく似合いの死に場所を見つけたに。410、問題ないに。
煉獄の7姉妹、最後までベアトリーチェ様とバトラ様のおそばに。
The sixth younger sister also showed their resolve with their eyes.
アイゼルネイ・ユングフラウ、最後までお供します。
元 SSVD もいいぜ。付き合ってやら。
Hell yeah.
そしてあなたもどうか私たちに力を。
私？だよ。偵察してきてあげたじゃない。それで私は十分協力をしてあげたつもりだけど。
Shut up, Rama Delta. You're part of the group. Fucking last stand, damn it.
あなたはエンジェちゃんが図書の都の中にいるのをどうやって確認したんですか？
もちろんこの目でよ。私、自分の目で見たものしか信用しないたちなの。
ということはあなたは聖域である図書の都に入る資格を持っているということですね。
そうとも。大ラムダデルタ教は元老院の大魔女であらせられるぞ。
ラムダデルタ。
何よあんたたち。まさか私にもう一働きしろって言ってんじゃないわよね。
これは思わぬ出番だね。
図書の都に入ることができるのはラムダデルタ教ただ一人。
ということはこれはまさにラムダデルタ教のための見せ場ということじゃない。
You two are still here.
バカ言ってんじゃないわよ。あんたたち正気？私がたった一人であそこへもう一度侵入してエンジェを連れ戻してこいっての
The several dozen people surrounding Rama Delta all nodded in unison.
バカも休み休みお言いなさいよね。エンジを助け出すってことは大アウローラのパーティーをぶっ壊せってことよ。 私に世界を敵に回せってこと？
Well,
私に見返りはないわ。あるわけない。
it's familiar words.
あんたたちに用意できるどんな見返りだって、ダイアウローラとその愉快な友人の化け物たちを敵に回すことと割が合うわけなんてない。
ダイアウローラとダイベルンカステルの目論見を台無しにし、エンジェちゃんを連れ戻し、みんなで和解するというハッピーエンドが見られます。
どうであるかラムダデルタ卿、これほどのスリル他にはないぞ。
Look, Ramadelta, redeem yourself, god damn it! All this time, ever since Higurashi, truly redeem yourself.
それほどの大事を成し遂げれば、そなたも病を1000年は忘れることができるのではないか。
頼む、ラムダデルタ、俺たちに力を貸してくれ。
Please, please, we're begging you. Help us save Ange. Everyone surrounded Ramadelta, asking for your help.
どうか頼む、ラムダデルタ卿。そなたしかおらぬのだ。
力を貸してくれ。俺がお前に最高の物語を見せてやる。そいつを最前列で見せてやるから。だから力を貸してくれ。
うるさい、黙れっつってんです。
Ramadelta leapt to her feet and crushed the cup of popcorn in her hands. Sweet candy-flavored popcorn flew all over the place, hitting everyone in the face. It might have looked funny, however no one laughed. Ramadelta's face was filled with a rage none of them had seen before.
勘違いしないでくれる？私は観客よ、観客。ベアトに招かれてそのゲームを見物に来ただけの客人よ。その私がなんであんたたちのために命までかけなきゃなんないわけ？エンジェが帰ってきたらハッピーエンド？バカじゃない？怒り狂ったベルンとその軍勢が一気になだれ込んできてブチッと潰されておしまいじゃない。私がここにいる理由はたった一つよ。それは面白い物語が見られるとそこのリオンに啖呵を切られたから。そして私はもうじき最高に面白い物語が見られることを信じて疑わないわ。それは排水の陣でベルンの軍勢と戦って一人また一人と散っていく悲しい悲しい物語。全員に散り際の見せ場がありそうだもんね。それを間近でもうじき感激できるのよ。あんたたちはもうじきみんな死ぬの。でも私は違う。私は観客よ、客人よ。あんたも一緒に死んでくれなんて言われる筋合いはこれっぽっちもないんだから。
No one was able to say a word. In the still silence, where there was no sound except that of the rain, even Ramadelta finally hung her head in dismay.
ごめんね。私ってば最高にかっこ悪いわ。そうよね。ここで私が任せておきなさいって胸を叩いたら、私の人気はうなぎ登りで次の人気投票はトップ3くらいに入っちゃうかもね。でもね、私はあんたたちと違って物語の登場人物じゃないのよ。死ねないのよ。あんたたちが深夜にクライマックスはこれからだとか意気込んでるけど、私も明日月曜で学校で日直で朝は起床が早いわけよ。
Yeah.
住んでる世界が違うの。だからさ、私をさ。
Ramadelta staggered as though dizzy, then plopped down into a chair. Then she became expressionless like a doll, just staring at a single point in space, silently.
すまん。
Bador softly apologized. However, Ramadelta remained expressionless.
俺たちにできることも尽くさないのに、あんたにだけ何かを失うように強いるのはフェアじゃ。俺たちはここで戦い、最後の1秒までここを守る。エンジェが一なる真実よりも俺たちを選び、帰ってきてくれるかもしれない奇跡を信じて、それも尽くさないのに、あんたに俺たちと一緒に命を捨ててくれなんて頼めるわけもない。
Bador rose from his seat and span around.
バトラ。
見張りの2人と交代してくれ。俺が奴らと戦う時の先人でありたい。
One final stand-down. It's quite interesting. Ramadelta is just a spectator, a viewer. She's not a character that appears in the story. Such an interesting, such a interesting dilemma, really. We live in two completely different worlds. It's as if the characters of stories telling you, the viewer, to act. How can you? When you live in such different worlds, such different planes of existence. And for what reason, you know? Like, realistically, what reason would you have to stop the inevitable? The ending of a story. No matter how much you want to fight against it, it will come. The end comes to all eventually.
それが今すぐ俺がラムダデルタに見せられる俺の決意だ。
わらわも行くぞ。お師匠様はラムダデルタ教に新しいポップコーンを頼む。デアとエンジェは必ず帰る。信じねば実る奇跡も実らぬというもの。くじを買わねば当たることもないのだからな。
Beast Alistair stood up and followed Bador.
みんな戦いに備え何かの準備をしよう。
賛成だぜ。ここでうつむいてたってバカバカしいぜ。
そうだな。最後くらい景気よく行こうぜ。
エンジェちゃんの帰る場所を守らなくちゃ。
私たちも作戦会議が必要です。
そうだな。家具に武具に悪魔に異端審問官だ。このちぐはぐ連合軍でうまく連携を取らなきゃな。
さあ妹たち、休憩の時間は終わりよ。
God, this really is the final arc of like a manga or anime or a comic book. When the ensemble cast that's been built up throughout the entire run finally comes together. It's beautiful.
シエスタ対起立。
The humans and illusions all rose to their feet and left the arbor. Afterwards, only Ramadelta remained, still staring blankly at a point in empty space. Kim as a doll.
いい香りの紅茶ね。インスタント？それともティーバッグかしら？
Ava, trust.
おや、同志エヴァもいかがです？
I was wondering, like, what? That sounds familiar.
カップはないのでロートになりますが。
A gold butterfly drifted onto the balcony and turned into Ava.
ベルーンカステルの様子はどう？一なる真実の書の封印を解くのにまだだいぶかかるのかしら。それを伝えに来たのよ。封印が解けたそうよ。
Oh shit.
おめでとうございます。いよいよですね。あなたの人生のピリオド。鍵を持ってベルンカステル教のところへお行きなさいな。使い魔の猫が案内してくれるわ。
Two emerald sparks flew in. They were the green, glinting eyes of a black cat. The cat flickered its tail elegantly with the dignity of a high-class attendant. Uh.
わかったわ。じゃあ、ちょっと行ってくるわ。
Angie rose from her seat. She did it casually, as though she really was just setting out for a short trip. However, her lips would probably never touch her half-finished cup of tea again.
短い間でしたが、楽しかったです。同族嫌悪って感情を知ることができる貴重な時間でした。私こそ次に会えたらどうやったらこんなにまずく紅茶が入れられるのか、ぜひ秘密を教えてほしいわ。
Right, the shitty tea.
嬉しい？私が12年間ずっと隠して意地悪してきた秘密がいよいよ知れて嬉しいわ。ああ、今ならエリカの気持ちがわかるわ。あんたが死ぬまで守った秘密を暴けて、あんたに一矢報いてやったって気持ちになるもの。それは気持ちのいいこと？多少はマシって程度だわ。
Angie nodded towards the black cat to let it know that she was ready. The cat nodded back in a refined manner, indicating that it wanted Angie to follow, and leapt from the balcony. Without turning back, Angie followed it, jumping out into the air as though swimming. Ava watched her go. An expression of ridicule and scorn failed to cross her face.
いってらっしゃい、エンジェ。それもあんたの選んだ道よ。あんたはもう6歳じゃない、18歳なのよ。自分の人生は自分で選択しなさい。過保護なおばさまだことで。私は式典の様子を見に行くけれど、あなたは？もうじき出陣の時間ですので船に向かいます。
Son of a bitch, I think I just connected something two and two together.
手土産にはベアとの屍を。
God damn it. Now, I might as well just say it now, so I don't leave you guys dangling. For a long time, I've kept seeing this goddamn sprite of Erica with a goddamn pirate's hat on. And for the longest time, I've been wondering, when the fuck does this sprite appear? When in the hell does this sprite appear? And now it fucking makes sense. God damn it.
腹渡はパーティーに。
Motherfucker.
私は皮をもらえることになってますので、剥製を作りましょう。
これで謎のベールに包まれた六軒島物語もおしまいね。
するとその駒であるあんたもおしまいになりますね。
私はただの駒よ。駒の役目はゲームが終わるまで自分の役目に忠実であることだわ。ゲームが終わった後のことを考えるのは駒の役目じゃない。
What happens after it's over?
そうですね。それは私も同じです。お互い今のこのひとときを楽しみましょう。では私もこれで失礼します。
じゃあね、お仕事頑張ってね。
There they go. After exchanging elegant bows, the two witches vanished at the same time. Nothing remained except some half-finished teacups and the aroma of the tea itself. One after another, luxury cars stopped in front of a high-class hotel in the city, and guests began to step out of them.
Yeah, 大月教授。
Oh.
おお、これは。
What's happening in reality?
前回のコンベンション以来ですな。
All the guests gathered here were very rich and cultured. A single hobby tied all of them together. They were witch hunters. Like-minded people who enjoyed exploring various interpretations of the Wokenjima mystery.
しかし本当でしょうか。後ろ目やエヴァの日記帳が実在したなんて。ええ、私も噂には聞いておりました。後ろ宮エヴァが死の直前に隠したとささやかれる秘密の日記。彼女は六軒島の真実をそれに密かに記していたと噂されます。まるで王様の耳はロバの耳ですな。人は自分しか知り得ない秘密を穴を掘ってでも口にせずにはいられない悲しい生き物なのです。何でも聞いた話ではドバイのコレクターが1000万ドルで買収を持ちかけてるとか。それはすごい。それだけロッキン島ミステリーが魅力的なことの証左ですな。
Of course. Conversations like this were breaking out passionately all over the place. Furthermore, it wasn't just guests who were allowed to enter. The press was also there in force. The Okanjima mystery was such a large movement that it became a social phenomenon at one point. Though it had died down slightly in recent years, it was still a topic fiercely debated across the internet. It was hardly any surprise that the discovery in an eminent Luisa Lucio Mira Ava's diary, which contained the truth of that mystery, had caused an uproar. And on top of all that, the mysterious forger, oh god, Ichiko Kuro was to appear publicly for the first time. In fact, it seemed that Ichiko Kuro and Haichijo Toya, the up-and-coming mystery novelist, were the same person. Of course, this meant that Haichijo Toya would also be appearing in public for the first time. Though she was thought to be a male author, the fact that she was actually a mysterious woman author alone was enough to cause a stir. Before the diary unveiling party, a press conference was held in one of the rooms at the hotel.
いかにも私が八条東也です。
先生は過去のサイン会においても影武者を立ててまで姿を現すことを拒まれてきたわけですがそれが今回こうして姿を現されたのはどういうご心境の変化からでしょ
う。六軒島の魔女伝説は無限の物語を生み出してきました。それが終焉することの意味を考えれば物書きの端くれとしては姿を現す形で敬意を表するべきであると感じたからです。
twitch in some eyes.
偽書作家としての先生はネット上で真実に至ったと公言されておりました。それはつまりもう先生は日記の中身をご覧になっているということなのですか。
そしてそれはもうじき皆さんにも公開されることとなるでしょう。
こう言ってはなんですが、日記の中に記された内容が真実であるとの保証はあるのでしょうか。個人の私的記録に過ぎないといううがった見方もあるようですが。
いいえ、私が保証します。日記には真実が記されています。
Holy shit. The stir passed through the crowd and the room was suddenly filled with camera flashes.
これにて八条先生の会見を終了いたします。
She just straight up used the red truth here. What the fuck?
報道各社の皆さん、本日は誠にありがとうございます。引き続きまして後宮エバ氏の日記の撮影時間に移りたいと思います。
The hotel worker pushed forward a cart covered by a veil. Then, after looking to Hachijo for approval, he removed the veil. Their way, Mira Eva's diary. The book of the single truth sat there, waiting for its seal to be released. Hachijo held it to her chest and laughed enigmatically. Camera flashes came from everywhere, making the book of the single truth glint.
以上で会見を終了させていただきます。それでは皆様、会場の方へ移動をお願いいたします。
Still holding the diary, Hachijo left the press conference room, escorted by men from the hotel, until she went for a door that said authorized personnel only. The journalists continued to surround her and ask questions, hoping to gather just one more comment. When the door slammed shut, the world twisted. The hotel employees became black cats wearing capes. Hachijo had turned into Featherine.
すごい熱気じゃない。楽しめた？疲れる。だが悪くない。それにしてもこの日記は重いな。
Featherine tossed the diary and Burncastle caught it.
私は少し控え室で休ませてもらおう。出番なんてすぐよ。休んでる暇なんてないでしょ。では休むと言わず、久しぶりの興奮をかみしめる時間が欲しいと言い直す。この本借りるわよ。エンジェに一番に見せる約束をしているわ。そうか。ならば好きにするがよい。
Featherine left, followed by her cat attendants. After watching her until she was out of sight, Burncastle disappeared as well. Oh, God. Like Erica's room, Burncastle's was a balcony without a handwell, dug out of a bookshelf cliff. Angie had been kept waiting for some time, but she had waited patiently, looking down at the world below her.
遅くなったわね。ごめんなさい。
After Burncastle appeared, the black cats gave a bow and vanished.
ほら、持ってきたわよ。一なる真実の書。
触れてもいい？
お好きになさい。
Burncastle sat on the table and beckoned Angie forward. Slowly, Angie approached it.
これがエヴァおばさんの日記。
This is it.
そうよ。その中にあんたが知りたかった一なる真実が記されているわ。鍵は持ってるわよね。 ええ、ここに。
Angie took the key out, looked at it there in her palm, then gripped it tightly. Even the heavy lock that held the diary so securely was fated to be swept aside easily as soon as Angie readied herself.
せかさないよ。あなたの心の準備がついてから開けるといい。この中には1986年10月4日と5日に何が起こったか記されているのよね。そうよ。あなたが命と引き換えにしてでも知りたいと願ったすべてがね。
In that instant, two Angies appeared inside of her, taking control of her body at the same time. On one hand, she knew that she had already paid a great price to learn the truth. This part of her gripped the key, wanting to avoid a second of hesitation that might lead her to refuse to learn the truth now. At the final moments, with the bulk of the single truth right before her. On the other hand, the feeling as though she was betraying a brother and family who watched over her warmly made her bite her lower lip. However, though she shook, she could do nothing but watch as her right hand slowly brought the key towards the lock. What am I hesitating for? Inside this diary is the final destination of my sad, painful 12-year-long journey. Wasn't 12 years enough? Do I want to keep living that way? That brother is an illusion created by my heart. My naive hope that a miracle might still occur. If I put my two opinions on a scale, then the path I should choose is clear. Slowly, I pushed the key into the lock and twisted. The lock opened with a click, and at the same time it felt as though a crack ran through the key in my hands. Maybe a part of that intricate design had fallen off. I couldn't tell where it was broken just by glancing at it. However, for some reason its golden glint seemed dulled somehow.
あんたがその鍵で選択をしたから魔法が一つ消えたのよ。何の魔法？バトラが言わなかった。その鍵はあなた以外の誰にも渡すことはできない。そのあなたに選択を委ねるという魔法は今その役目を終えて消えたのよ。もうその鍵はただの鍵。この日記を開け閉めするだけのただの鍵よ。
Just a key.
そう。じゃあこのお兄ちゃんの鍵ももう用済みね。もらってもいい？あんたが読んだ後にもう一度施錠するの。その錠前を開けるのもパーティーの立派なセレモニーだそうだから。そう。好きにすればいいわ。
I don't give a damn what happens after I find the truth. Berncastle slid the key from her way on the table and put it into her pocket.
ではどうぞ。真実を知ろうとするあなたの勇気が消えてしまう前にね。
I lifted up on Ava's now unlocked diary. The lock was unset. Even the hinge had been released by now. Nothing stands in the way of me opening to the pages within. I thought of taking a deep breath. However, I decided against it. I prepared myself for this long ago. It'd be so stupid to fuel my reluctance further. I opened it. Violently, ruthlessly. I knew that this was the right way to open to the pages that held the truth. As soon as the cover was opened, a brilliant white poured out and my mind went hazy. The truth was sent to my mind directly without letters or words. Tell me, what happened that day on Wokenshima? My consciousness returned gradually. Nothing was in the open book before me. Of course, this was my own blank and empty notebook. I was at school, just sitting idly with my notebook open. The world had stopped. The hands on the clock had stopped too. In that case, the auditorium should have been filled with silence. However, I could hear a small commotion. In this world of suspended time, I could see dark shapes sneaking about in the shadows of the unmoving students. They were students with goat heads. They were sneaking glances at me from behind the frozen suits, whispering something to each other. I know. I can hear them. Everybody knows. One after another, students with goat heads grew out of shadows all over the room. They swooped around all the students, stopped in time, and gathered around me. Then, they all jeered out something in unison, and as if they knew I could hear, showered me with giggles and gossip and sneers. However, nothing that came from the goats' mouths reached my ears as words. This was a world without letters or words, so no words reached me. However, their emotions and meanings did reach me, so I knew what it was they were saying. And then, when I was able to visualize it, one after another, the goats opened their massive jaws, swallowing their fangs that dripped with saliva, and came forward to bite me. Time was stopped for me. I was aware, but I could not move. That wasn't literally true. However, I was pretending that I could hear so I could move. The goats bit me all over my body, leaving their fang marks licking me. Maybe they didn't like the taste of my clothes. Taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move, they chewed through my clothes one by one. Over and over again, the goats stuck their tongues, their jaws, their fangs into my naked body. I was covered with drool and bitten all over. Bright red teeth marks were left behind as sharp fangs pierced my skin, leaving trails of blood. They licked up that blood like real goats, hurting and humiliating me. As I hung my head, one of the goats pulled on my hair, forcing me to look up and spoke. They didn't say with concepts, but with words I could hear. However, they weren't words of the human world. They were the witch's words. The red truth, which signifies truth that is certain.
これが六軒島事件の真相なんですって。
認めないわ。
あんたも認めなくったって。これが真相なんでしょ。だってあんたが人間を見せるわけないじゃない。
Million voices.
認めないわ。そんな真実、私は認めない。認めない。
あん たが認めても認めなくても真実は変わらない。だって真実に証明された真実がこれなのだ。
Who cares about the truth? So stupid, so pointless. I'm the one who gets to decide if that's the truth or not, right? Even if it's red truth, I won't acknowledge it, won't forgive it, definitely won't accept it.
赤き真実は絶対？
What the fuck is the truth?
誰にとっての絶対？あんたたちにとっての絶対でしょ？私にとっての絶対じゃない。私の真実はあんたたちの真実に汚されたりなんかしない。
エンジ、落ち着いて。知りたいと願ったのはあんたでしょ。
私の真実はエヴァおばさんが犯人。エヴァおばさんがみんなを殺したのよ。悪いのは全部エヴァおばさん。
What happened? What happened? The images were the family saw the epitaph, then we saw Shannon, then blood. That was it. They figured it out, but what? It makes sense that they did figure it out, but what happened after?
お父さんもお母さんもお兄ちゃんもみんなただの犠牲者。誰も悪くない。誰も悪くない。
What happened?
だってそうじゃない。だってそうじゃない。
Your aunt will always be on your side, Angie-chan.
ああ、わかったわ。あんたの言葉の意味。そうよ、エヴァおばさん、あんたが犯人よ。あんたが犯人。それを認めない世界の方がおかしいのよ。壊れてるのよ。正しいのは私。私は赤き真実を、世界の全てを否定する。
What the fuck was it? Because we saw what possible truth has led Angie to this? She was so content. Then it wasn't an accident? What the hell? What is it?
そう。じゃあ、あんただけに記せる赤き真実を記してごらんなさい。でも、人間はどうやって赤き真実を記すの？
あるわよ。人間にしか記せない真っ赤なインクがあるじゃない。
エンジェさん、落ち着いてください。
Shit.
正しいのは私、間違ってるのが世界。私が記してあげる。本当の赤き真実で私が真実を記してあげる。
Is this what really happened? The diary had been let out, and she was tortured for that truth. Then once Ava died, she came to this rooftop.
20屋上支援大至急。エンジェさん、待ちなさい。早まるな。危ない。
グッバイ、エンジェ。Have a nice day.
記してあげる。これが私の記す真っ赤な真実。お前たちの世界の真実など私は受け入れるものか。
Angie's body went past the edge of the balcony. The air, which had once been able to swim through, was now completely merciless for some reason. Angie's body plunged straight into the darkness below. Burning Castle just watched the scene play out in silence. Behind her, men in black suits rushed up to the fence, clutching it and screaming.
20エンジェさんが飛び降りた。
ダメだ、ここからは姿が見えない。
大至急地上を調べろ。無理だ、どうしようもなかった。
ひょっとするとあそこの防護ネットに引っかかったかもしれん。調べてみよう。
What fools. If you jump straight down from this height, you really think such a flimsy safety net could possibly save you.
そんな奇跡絶対に起こらないことをこの奇跡の王子ベルンカステルが保証してあげるわ。
Angie's body fell from the skyscraper-like bookshelf and slammed against the floor of the City of Books. What was it? What the fuck was it? Looking down from Bryn Castle's balcony, which was as high as a skyscraper's roof, did it look like a lovely red pressed flower? No, you couldn't see that at all. Just like how the death of a single lonely girl who rejected the world didn't matter to anyone in the world. She probably died instantly. It was only natural. She had fallen straight down from the side after all. Is it even conceivable that she wouldn't die instantly after something like that? The index finger and the right hand of her corpse stuck out, so it was tracing something. Could it be that, by some impossible miracle, she really had escaped an instant death? And could the red blood that had been drained from her at that moment of death have been the ink that drew her own personal red truth? However, no one would ever be able to tell what she had written. After all, the red blood pouring from her corpse had run over it all.
それさえもあんたの選択よ、エンジェ。
Ava was looking down at the beautiful flower of blood radiating from Angie's corpse.
私はあんたを生かそうとした。でもあんた6歳より先の未来を生きようとしなかった。だからあんた12年をかけてやっと元の場所に戻ってきた。
The eyes on Angie's corpse were closed. However, there was no way of knowing if this was a peaceful thing. Eventually, the corpse began to melt away. At the end, it had become a messy lump of flesh with only a few parts recognizable as human. It was hardly surprising. How else would she look after falling from that height and slamming against the asphalt?
あんたは死ねたわ。でもね、それで天国のみんなに迎えてもらえるかは別だわ。だってあんたはその天国のみんなを拒絶してここへ来たんじゃない。See you hell。いいえ、多分それはここだったわね。さようなら、エンジ。あらエヴァ、ちょうどいいところ。お呼びでしょうか、我が主。そのひき肉のゴミを捨てておいてちょうだい。私はこれを戻してくるわ。
In Bird Castle's hands were the key, which had lost its magic when Angie made her decision, and the book of the single truth, which had been locked up again.
かしこまりました、我が主。
After looking down one more time, Burncastle vanished. When she had gone, Ava summoned some cat familiars and ordered them to clean up. The black cats gathered Angie's flesh and scattered limbs and threw them into the tin bucket. Even in this miserable form, Angie's soul was still living. Perhaps living is a poor description. She was unable to die. From now on, forever, she would drift along into the deepest depths of oblivion, covered by the dust of oblivion, until she finally disappeared. She continued to question herself. What did the truth mean to her? What was right, and where was the place she could call home? As her flesh began to cool, even the energy to ask these questions began to fade. Eventually, she would forget her everyday memories, and even the reason why she was suffering. However, there was one thing she would never forget. That was the anguish. From this point forth, she would suffer endlessly without even knowing why. By the time the cats finished flinging her corpse into the bucket and dumping it into the sea of nothingness, Angie had forgotten even her own name. Jesus. What's this sound I keep hearing? Yes, it must be the sound of rain. Whoa. In that case, were those two bright lights coming towards me? I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. A brurring noise came at me over and over. Car? Whatever's shining those bright lights is threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I was incapable of moving even a finger. There was a sound and a car door opened. Car. Door. Apparently I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. What the fuck? Dude, no. No, what the hell? What is that ending? What the fuck? What does that mean? Haichicho Iko. Okay. I saw a shadow, which was apparently the driver, open and blow and come towards me.
ここはそなたの庭か?
The shadow questioned me. Of course, I couldn't answer it.
そなたの庭ならば、私は謝らなければならないな。
Haichicho.
なるほど。このような良き天気の日には、昼寝としゃれ込みたくなるような素晴らしき庭だ。しかし、私の記憶が確かなら。
The shadow crouched down and looked into my face. It was a woman.
ここは天下の坑道だ。そなたはひき肉になりたいのか？あるいはすでにひき肉なのか？どちらなのか教えてほしい。
I clenched my chest. I felt I needed to answer somehow and communicate my intentions. So finally I managed to let a short groan escape my lips.
なるほど。まだひき肉ではなかったようだな。
And that was how I met Iko. Haijo did mention a man, I believe, before.
非常に衰弱しております。あと
記憶障害の可能性が高いですな。 CT を見ないことには分かりませんが、脳にダメージがある可能性もあります。
ダメージ程度で済んで大いに結構でした。あそこであのまま寝ていればそれどころでは済まなかったでしょうから。
ですな。いずれにせよ大きな病院で一度見せた方がいいでしょ
う。ありがとう先生。この件は内密に。これはわずかですが往診のお車代に。
わざわざ他言はしませんが。いやいや、こんなにたくさんいただくわけには。
In the end, the doctor took the money and swore to keep quiet about the matter. Eventually, Haicho returned.
おや、起きていたのですか。具合はいかがです？
I nodded weakly, wanting her to know that it wasn't so bad for now. But where is this place? The room I have absolutely no memory of, and the house I don't remember at all. And first and foremost, here's a woman I've never seen.
まずは私の自己紹介から。私は八条育子。親しげに育子と呼んでくれても、他人行儀に八条さんと呼んでくれても構いません。
Haichijo Ikuko。
八条家はこの辺りではちょっと知られた大地主の名家。出来のいい兄たちと違い、私はどこかずれた変わり者。いろいろと悪さが過ぎまして、とうとう親たちからも愛想をつかされて追い出され、今はここで蟄居をさせられています。趣味は推理小説を読むことと、そして書くこと。年は秘密の独身女。心は女子でも、そろそろそれを語るにはおこがましいかなという年頃です。
With the haze my mind was in, it was extremely hard to make out what she was talking about. However, I was able to pick up on the fact that she was trying to cheer me up.
それで、そなたの名前は？
My name. Logically, I know that being a human, I must have a name. And I do have a feeling that I did indeed have a name. However, no matter how hard I tried to remember what it was, it just made my head hurt.
何か名前以外に覚えていることは？
Who am I? My head... No, even my heart was a mess of torn flesh. And I couldn't remember a thing, not even who or what I was. But I must remember. I had some kind of purpose, or maybe a mission. In order to remember that, I first have to remember who I am. Who am I? What is my name? Where was I born, and what was my birthday? I need to remember something, anything. Age.
年？私の年は秘密です。
18.
私が18歳に見える？
I'm 18.
ああ、そなたの年齢ですか。やれやれ、世辞が過ぎると思いました。
When I asked myself how old I was, the number 18 floated into my mind. To be honest, the number 18 felt a bit out of place. My mind felt much younger than that, and my pathetic body felt much older.
なるほど。そなたは18歳というわけだ。 そしてそれ以上のことは何も覚えていないと。
I nodded weakly. I never knew that knowing nothing about yourself could make you feel this powerless.
ではそなたが自分の名を思い出すまで18という年にちなみ18と書いて東野と読む名前を与えましょう。八条東野。
八条東
野。いかがです？なかなかかっこいいです。自画自賛。
Hachijo Ikuko gave a satisfied laugh. From then on, I took the name Hachijo Toya. My inability to move my body was apparently due to a traffic accident. On that day, I'd been hit by a car, and Ikuko had picked me up from where I lay on the street. If she hadn't hit the brakes, she probably would have driven straight onwards, thinking she'd run over a dead dog or something. Later on, perhaps rudely, I suspected that the one who hit me might have been Ikuko herself. But when I saw her completely damaged from front bumper, I gave up on that theory. Huh. Hachijo Iko lived in a small but lovely mansion on the top of a small hill in a village with a view of the sea. She also owned the hill behind her and was more than capable of enjoying the four seasons in privacy. As time passed slowly, my rehabilitation continued, and my ability to move improved little by little. However, it seemed I really did suffer some form of brain damage. Finding out who I was looked like it would be a very difficult task. In the beginning, when I couldn't bear not knowing my identity, my head often hurt so much it felt as though it would explode. However, as I slowly accepted the fact that I was a new person with the new name of Hachijo Toya, the headaches became less frequent. That whole time, no memories returned to me except the fact that I had been 18. However, I was unable to remember anymore, unable even to be sure that 18 was my true age. And eventually, I stopped trying to remember my former self.
おはよう、トウヤ。昨日はひどい嵐でしたが、よく眠れましたか？
I had some trouble falling asleep, so I decided to read your manuscript.
おやおや、どこまで読んでくれたのですか？
I finished it.
これは驚いた。あの量の原稿用紙を一晩で読み切ったというのですか？
I was surprised too. Once I got into it, I finished before I knew it. It was like I was just skimming it, or maybe like I was taking in each page with just a glance.
どうやらそなたは速読の心得があるようですね。して、どうでしたか？感想は。
I liked it a lot. Still, if you don't explain that part about the ocean currents a bit more clearly, it might be a little unfair for a detective novel. Oh, but I thought it was great that you had the foreshadowing with the ring right there at the beginning. After I finished, I had to go back to the beginning and swap myself for being so easily tricked. I think giving people that feeling is what detective novels do best. Damn, I really am fucking Toya. Did I say something to offend you? If I did, you have my apologies.
いや、なぜ謝るのです。驚いています。そなたの的確な感想は称賛に値するでしょう。そなたはどうやら批評家か、あるいは推理小説作家の才能があるらしい。
A detective novel writer. A critic. From across the fog of oblivion, I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Ooh, mystery. Fighting. My head hurt. I took a painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I, really? But no matter how much I fought, I couldn't remember. From what I've been told, the frequency of the headaches might be lessened by brain surgery, but there was no guarantee that would do my memory any good. Ikiko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can't remember it, the real me is still there, sweeping inside my head. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So, bit by bit, I became free of the headaches and got used to my new life as Hachijo Toya. Gradually, my interest shifted from myself to Ikiko. Hachijo Ikiko, very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she had said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house and had been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs. Living, however, she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. When I wasn't around, she only ever talked to an old black cat she kept as a pet named Burn. I don't know her real age. She doesn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but with an isolated life like this, she isn't likely to meet people. She sometimes says that she just hasn't met anyone worth the trouble, but I think she's already given up on marriage. Her everyday life was very simple. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. At first, I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat plugging away at a new book. However, the manuscripts she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me as the sole exception, it didn't look like she ever let anyone read them. I get that feeling. A novelist is someone who writes novels for people to read. So I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever see. Ikuko-san, why don't you ever show these to anyone?
そなたには見せています。無論、出来のマシなものに限りますが。
Haven't you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's a waste otherwise when your works are so interesting.
私の作品などプロには通じぬ。一度送ったことがあるが、さっぱりダメでした。私には分かっています。こんなもの、素人の道楽です。
I don't think amateur is a fitting word for someone who's so well versed in detective novels from all times and all across the world.
大飯ぐらいが良き料理人になれるわけでもない。推理小説を読み散らすことが良き推理小説家であることを保証するわけでもない。そういうことです。だからこんなものは道楽に過ぎません。
Is it really fun to write novels that you won't show to anyone?
かつては楽しかった。かつては。
What about now?
そなたに感想を得ることが楽しい。とりあえず一章を書き終えました。お茶を用意させるので、また読んで感想を聞かせてもらえませんか？
Saying this with a smile, Ikuko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. I'm convinced that whether you read detective novels or write them, they're boring if you're all on your own. You can only find something really precious when you share that world with someone else. Ooh, headache.
どうよしっかり今頭痛薬を
Shit. I'm fine. I'm more interested in this manuscript. I can't wait for the new chapter. The seasons passed. Together with Ikuko, in this town whose name I didn't even know, we spent our days debating detective novels and talking about ideas for new plots. At a glance, they may have appeared to be stale and unprotective days. However, Hachijo Toya found satisfaction with this new life. From the outside, it seems unproductive, but yet so much fun.
かようにして我が黒首とキタンは幕を閉じるのである。りょう
With a dramatic flourish of her pen, Ikuko signified that her manuscript was now complete.
どうであるかそなたのプロットを生かしつつ最後に辻子の秘伝をもう少し厚くしてみました。
I think it's very good. I'd say the last farewell is sad enough to make it moving as a story, not just a reasoning puzzle.
当夜のプロットがあればこそです。この作品の前には私がこれまで書き溜めた原稿などちり紙の価値さえない。書きながらも私が世界で一番最初の読者であることの興奮こんな経験は初めてです。
I just mentioned some ideas. You're the one who turned them into such a fascinating story, Ikuko-san. At some point, she roped me in as well, and I too started my journey in the world of writing detective novels. Apparently, the old me had some talent for mysteries and detective novels and the like. And my talents seemed to be of a fairly unorthodox kind. I tried turning famous mysteries from across the world on their head, twisting those ideas into something new. However, a few ideas aren't enough to make a book. No meal is complete if all you can do is chop up vegetables. Thanks to Ikuko's writing, a skill she had built up over many years, my ideas were transformed into a work of fiction. In this work, The Strange Tale of Kurokabi Island, the two of us merged the best of our respective personalities. And though I hate to brag, it had turned into a masterpiece that we could show to anyone without shame.
もしもし書斎にシャンパンを持ってきてください。グラスはあなたの分も。これまでで一番の作品が仕上がりました。お祝いしましょう。
Ikuko called for some champagne over the internal phone line. Joined by the servant who happened to be working that day and the cat Burn, we raised our glasses high and toasted our accomplishment. Ikuko-san, I have an idea if you don't mind.
聞こう。そなたの話すアイデアならシャワーとトイレ中でなければいつだって耳を貸そう。
Why don't we try submitting our book? I've never read anything this interesting before. I'm sure lots of other people will want to read it.
そうでしょうか。過去にもそう思い投稿しましたが、結果は。
I believe in your talent, Ikuko-san. What about you?
私とてそなたの才能を確信しています。
Then it's decided. To Ikuko-san's big debut.
当夜のメジャーデビューを祈って。
We clinked our glasses once more. And on it went. Story of two creatives. We must have had way too much to drink. Before I knew it, I must have passed out on the sofa. There was a blanket covering me. Ikiko-san must have put it there. The lights were out in the city, but it wasn't dark. The computer's monitor was growing. Outside, it started to rain. It reminded me of the day Ikiko-san found me and took me in. Because of that, whenever it rains, I found myself wondering who I was, and I usually got headaches. So, I wasn't sure whether the pain was because of the rain or because I drank too much. Ikiko-san, turn on the lights. Using the computer in the dark is bad for your eyes.
おや、起こしてしまいましたか?
No, I slept well. I feel refreshed now. I turned on the light and looked out through the gap in the curtains. As I thought, it was the sort of pouring rain that always reminded me of that day. It's raining pretty hard out there. The wind looks pretty strong too. I hope the rain gutters don't get clogged with leaves again.
先日掃除をさせましたから、当分は大丈夫でしょう。
Her answer sounded a little abstracted. Apparently her attention was absorbed by the computer. You've been pretty hooked by that computer lately, Ikiko-san. Did you find an interesting article or something?
バカバカしいとは思いつつも、なかなか面白いのです。ほら、例の六軒島事件。
Wokenjima?
六軒島ミステリーの話は先日したでしょ。これが今ネットでブームになっているのです。それをめぐる議論や考察、中でも義書が実に面白い。義書というのは付近の島に流れ着いた後宮マリアの署名のあるボトルメッセージが他にもあったと仮定して書いたもので。
Yukiko kept showing off her knowledge of the subject. However, a huge bell was clanging inside my head. The noise was so great that I thought my head would split open. Unable to tell what was the floor and what was the ceiling, I crumpled and clutched at my head.
どうや、大丈夫ですか?
My head hurts. The Wokenjima explosion accident. The many disquieting rumors surrounding it. The scheming of the relatives who were after Umineko Kenzo's vast wealth and hidden gold. And the truth? Umineko, the sole survivor, said nothing. Eventually, everything would be inherited by the granddaughter, Umineko Ange, who escaped harm because she was absent on that day. Ange, Umineko Ange. I am Umineko. No good. My head's getting split open. Oh, shit. Incomprehensible scenes pierced my eyelids from the inside of white blades of white. Oh, shit. Just what am I looking at? Who are these people calling to me, but not by the name of Toya? Who am I? Who are these people? What is this memory? Help me, Ikiko. Someone else's memory is hurting me. My head's splitting. One by one. The only one that didn't show up. The only one that didn't show up was Bad Horse. Bad Horse survived. Somehow. It has to be, yeah. It has to be Bad Horse. I've been thinking as I was going through this, piecing it together in my head, could this be Bador? You know, because interest in detective novels, mysteries, all fits Bador's description, and I think that just confirmed it. I could hear the sorrowful sound of wind, and that must be rain. Who was I again? I am Ushura
Ange! Ange!
Oh.
お願いよ、返事をして。
Voices calling to me. Dad and Mom. It can't be. In 1986, on Wokinshima, Mom and Dad.
エンジェ、しっかりしろ。お父さんの声が聞こえるか。
お願いだから返事をして。エンジ。
Dad, Mom, how say it out loud. Dad, Mom.
エンジェ、エンジェ、よかった。
I could feel my body being lifted up firmly and hugged roughly. Mom and Dad were hugging me. My eyelids had been open for a while now. I could feel the light slowly returning to my eyes. Just like your eyes get used to the dark, my eyes got used to the light, and bit by bit the scene around me came into view. However, it was an unusual sight, which seemed to be very far away. My body was being hugged by Dad and Mom. Dad was sniffling, his face covered with tears. There were tears in Mom's eyes too as she held me tight. It was so strong that it hurt a bit. They held me with all their strength. Me, the bad kid who wasn't obedient, who always had an excuse, and who always tried to do the opposite of what her parents said. They held me tight to make sure I didn't head down the wrong path. As my eyes adjusted, I could see other people besides my parents. Everyone was there. George Oni-chan, Jessica Oni-chan, Maria Oni-chan, my uncles and aunts, even Sakatoru. And there was the witch Virtuia and Wonov and... She managed to come back.
そなたは幸運だった。偶然にも虚無の海の波間を漂うそなたを見つけたのだ。ひどい姿であったぞ。そなた自身がその姿を思い出すまでに随分と時間をかけた。
ベアトリーチェ。じゃあここは。
黄金鏡だ。ここでお父さんたちはみんなお前が帰ってくるのを待ってたんだぞ。
絶対にあなたは帰ってくると信じてたわ。
Did I come home because I was supposed to? I've gone back to how I'm supposed to be, and now...
いや、お前は帰ってきたんだ。
そうよ。あなたが私たちのところへ帰りたいと願ったからここへ帰ってこられたのよ。
お父さん、お母さん、私は。
今は何も言わなくていいわ。大変な冒険をしてきたわね。あなたは一人ぼっちで大変な冒険をしてきたわ。
これで分かっただろう。もう忘れないだろう。
I understand, Dad.
ここがお前の帰るべきところだってことだ。
When I gave that answer, Dad and Mom hugged me again. Hot tears fell into my face. They were Dad's and Mom's tears.
無事でとはとても言えない姿だったけれど、よかったわ。帰ってきて。
おばさん。
私のことをいくらでも憎んでくれていいから。だからお父さんとお母さんに100万回キスをしてあげて。あなたのことをいつも思っているみんなにもキスをしてあげて。
おばさん。
あなたのもう一人のお母さんにどうかただいまと言ってあげて。
Mom gave me a push from behind and I stumbled forwards towards my other mother.
お母さん。
エンジェち
ゃん。あの日、私がそう呼べていれば、私は何も謝ることがなかったかもしれない。私たちは新しい世界を二人で生み出せたかもしれない。
もういいのよ。エンジェちゃんは帰ってきてくれたわ。だからもう何も言わなくていいのよ。
お母さん。
おかえり、エンジェちゃん。あなたは私の可愛い娘よ。
お母さん。あなたはいつまでも、そして最後まで私の一番の味方だった。
The two of them hugged each other quietly, burying their faces in the other's shoulders and sobbing. The truth wasn't worth anything at all. In the first place, the truth was always in the past. The point of the future isn't to worry what happened in the past. What really matters is whether I can truly live and prosper in the truth that is the now. If I truly live and prosper, that is the truth. Back when I only ever tried to see the truth of the past, I was nothing more than a ghost trapped in that past. Since that time, I haven't lived a single day. Now I truly understand. This is what the real truth is.
私は生きるわ。そしてどれほどみんなに愛されていたかを思い出したわ。
Because I was young and selfish, I didn't even remember until now. The kind grandpa who'd always spoiled me. The entertaining aunts and uncles. All the kind and gentle servants. It was always warm. And yet, because I was young and cruel, I never tried to remember any of that. Everyone got distorted by my irresponsible imagination, and I completely forgot the truth. Now I can remember clearly, and I understand. That Halloween Chris party certainly was an illusion. It never happened. However, can we do all kinds of fun things when the relatives gathered? Things that were no more or less fun than the party? And for the first time since the start of the game, I went up to each and every one of them to greet them, thank them, and apologize. To thank Grandpa for always pampering me. To thank my aunts and uncles. To thank the cousins for always playing with me, even though I was so selfish. And I thanked and apologized to the illusions. I think I said something horrible to Sakatoru once in the past. And to Maria Oni-chan too.
マリアお姉ちゃんは本当の魔女だったんだわ。
マリアは最初から魔女だよ。エンジェだって一度はその領域に近づけたのにね。
ううん、本当の意味で分かってなんかいなかった。かわいそうなマリアお姉ちゃんのかわいそうな魔法、そんな風にしか見ていなかった。だから私には幸せのかけらが拾えない、見つけられない。かつてお姉ちゃんは私にそう言ったわ。
仕方ないよ。宇宙は二人で作らないと生み出せない。マリアにはベアトがいたけれど、エンジェは一人ぼっちだった。
いいえ、もしエヴァおばさんをお母さんと呼べていたら、私は二人だったわ。きっとマリアお姉ちゃんと同じ魔法で私は新しい世界を生み出せたわ。
すべてわらわのせいだ。わらわが面白半分に投じたボトルメッセージがそなたの未来に歪みを生み、そなたを蝕んだ。わらわにもその責任がある。
まったくね。あんたのボトルメッセージのせいだわ。そのせいであんたの真似をした偽書を書く連中が現れて、どんどんおかしな話が膨らんでいった。
However, the message bottles run away by Beta did not name a specific person as the culprit. One of the forgers wrote a possible forgery that had Ushiro Mira-Eva as the culprit, and it spread like a wildfire. Even though I should have known better than anyone else that it was impossible, I accepted it in the end.
ベアトのせいじゃないわ。周りの誰がどんな邪推を重ねようとも、私の中の真実はたった一つのはずだった。なのに安易に私はみんなの温かな思い出を手放し、
It's hard to. Who do you accept? The world around you, the truth inside of you? When the whole world says that this one thing is bad, yet you remember good memories of it. Do you accept the world, or do you accept your own truth?
心を彼らに明け渡してしまった。
いやいや、そもそもわらわがボトルメッセージなど投じなければ、未来の六軒島はおかしな妄想の種にされることもなかったのだ。すべてはわらわのせいだ。
そうね。それもそうだわ。やっぱりあんたのせいだわ。
素直にそう言われるとカチンとくるぞ。わらわのせいだけでなく、やはりそなたも悪いのだ。
ええ、そうね。あんたも悪いし、私も悪いわ。
Let me wipe these tears from my eyes. God.
でもお互い罵り合うのもバカらしい。だって私は未来の魔女。 あなたは過去の魔女。未来に生きる私はその魔法で未来を築くべきなのよ。私たちは共に何らかの責任を負うけれど、それを責める資格はどちらにもないわ。
エンジェならマリアージュ・ソルシエールの教えをきっと理解してくれると思ってたよ。
そうね。私はマリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の一人としてお姉ちゃんの魔法を伝える義務があるわ。
マリアの魔法はみんなを幸せにする魔法なの。
うん。清らかなる魔法も邪悪なる魔法も思いのままよ。
本当ね。魔法は心の持ち方で全く違う姿に変わる。正しい導きがなければ正しい魔法は使えないわ。そして正しい魔法は人を幸福に導くわ。
素晴らしいことです。人を幸せにすることこそが魔女が魔法を振るう唯一の理由なのです。その教えをようやく我らが無限の魔女の系譜の最後の魔女に伝えることができて、私は嬉しいですよ。悪かったな、全然伝えてなくてよ。
未来の魔女エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ、マリアージュ・ソルシエールは今こそあなたの著名を解く。ウリュー、エンジェはきっと帰ってきてくれるって信じてたよ。
God, I keep wiping tears from my eyes, but it just keeps coming back.
おめでとうございます、エンジェ様。
あなたたちと共に旅をした日に私は一度は理解をしたつもりでいたのに、ごめんね。本当にごめんね。
魔女は二人でなければ宇宙を生み出せぬ。未来のそなたは一人だが本当に大丈夫か。
ええ、大丈夫。私はもう一人じゃないもの。私は生きるわ。みんなと一緒に。そして未来に生きる。マリアージュ・ソルシエルの魔法を伝えるために生き抜くことを誓うわ。マリアお姉ちゃんの魔法は私でさえ救ってくれたもの。魔法を必要としている人たちはもっと大勢いる。それを正しく伝え、一人でも多くの人々を救うことがマリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の魔女の私の使命なんだわ。
Point of magic is to bring happiness.
それは実現できそうか。
もちろんよ。そのための力だってあるわ。私の先代様エヴァ・ベアトリーチェがたっぷりと築き上げてくれた黄金の魔法があるもの。私はそれを全て継承しているわ。ね。
私がもう少し健康で長生きできてたら全部使い切っちゃうつもりだったんだけどね。
As Angie laughed, tears poured from her eyes again. Everyone surrounded Angie with their kind, warm smiles. Bador stood alone in the rose garden maze, letting the rain quietly fall on him. After searching for some time, Angie found him.
お兄ちゃん。
Angie, who was feeling guilty, sensed anger in his brother's expression. So she thought he was going to hit her. She shut her eyes. However, her brother touched her softly. He patted her head gently.
な。真実なんて大したもんじゃなかっただろ。
うん。
Didn't matter.
お兄ちゃんはこんなにも暖かな世界でずっと私の帰りを待っててくれたのに、私だけがずっと背を向けていたから。
お前は真実を知ってしまった。
うん。
だから誰かが生きて帰ってくるかもしれないっていう奇跡や希望は、でもお前にはもう未来を生きるための新しい希望や使命があるな。
Then who was Toya then? Fuck.
お兄ちゃんがその温かな希望を守ってくれてた。それを私が自ら開いて逃がしてしまった。パンドラの箱より始末が悪いわ。私は知る必要のない真実も、そして希望までも全て逃がしてしまって、全てを空っぽにしてしまったのだから。
いいさ。開けちまったなら仕方ねえさ。それで空っぽなら後腐れがなくていいじゃねえか。下手な希望はかえってトゲになることもあるしな。
Bador laughed hard away. Then, with that same smile on his face, he told her,
俺たちはもう死んでる。
うん。
ひょっとしたら生きてるかもしれないって希望がお前の12年間を生きる糧にしてくれた。それはもうこれでおしまいだ。きれいさっぱり全部なしだ。
Then who's Toya then?
うん。分かってる。これからの私は新しい人生に踏み出すわ。
ベアとは六軒島を猫箱に閉ざし、次の魔女のエヴァおばさんはその猫箱の蓋を生涯守った。その次の魔女のお前はその蓋を開けちまったがだからって何だってんだ。過去の真実なんてどうでもいいことじゃねえか。
私はこれから真に生きる。
Christ.
そして自分だけの真実を結実するわ。
Tears won't actually stop coming out of my fucking eyes.
頑張れよ。マリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の魔女。マリアの魔導書を読んだぜ。あれはとてもいいことを書いた素晴らしい本だ。聖書だって翻訳がいる。ならマリアの魔導書にだって翻訳がいるだろう。お前がそれを翻訳するんだ。そしてかつてのお前と同じ境遇の子供たちに伝えてやれ。 それがお前の新しき未来の魔女の使命だ。
To give hope to those that need it, to ones that feel the most loneliness in the world.
俺はいない。でもお前の後ろにいつだっていて見守ってるからな。
知ってるわ。お兄ちゃんだけじゃないわ。みんなも一緒よ。
俺もみんなもずっとずっと永遠にお前を愛してる。それを忘れるな。
忘れないわ。絶対永遠に。
Angie wept into Badwar's chest and sobbed. Humans are side creatures who can learn, but not unlearn. She had already learned. It may have been a cool, terrifying, merciless thing, capable of destroying even the miracle called hope. However, there was still one tiny fragment left gripped in her hand. Her family's love. If she can just remember that and hold it tight, then surely Angie will live on. She'll be able to stop before taking that single step into nothingness.
それに六軒島の猫箱はまだ完全に開かれたわけじゃない。お前が中身を覗いちまっただけの話だ。だからお前が自ら蓋となれ。そして今度はお前が猫箱の中のみんなを守るんだ。俺や親父やキリエさん、いとこのみんなやおじさんたちおばさんたち、じいさまや使用人のみんな、幻想の住人のみんなをな。
うん。今度は私がみんなを守らなきゃ。
ならそれは急いだ方がいいんじゃない？
The sound of popcorn being eaten rang out from beyond a rose bush. It was Wilmot Delta.
あんたも知ってると思うけど、ベルーはもうじき一なる真実の書をパーティーで大公開するわ。会場には天国から地獄から異界から別世界からあらゆる世界の面々が集まってる。そこで中身を公表されたらもう何もかも手遅れよ。
私行くわ。ベルンカステルにあの鍵を渡してしまった。私の責任だわ。私が行って取り返してくる。
図書の都にか。しかし入る方法がない。あそこには結界があるんだ。
あいつがこれをくれたの。これがあれば自由に出入りできるって。バカなやつね。私を捨てるとき回収を忘れたんだわ。
Angie finished for her pocket and there was a jingling sound. It was a bell with a blue ribbon tied to it.
それよ、招待状と引き換えに渡される図書の都の臨時入館証。それがあればとりあえず一人は図書の都に乗り込めるわね。まあかけらの海を誰かが送ってくれればの話だけど。
ラムダデルタ、私を図書の都に連れてって。
エンジェ。
それが私の責任の取り方だわ。私が一なる真実の書の公開を食い止める。
Destroy the book.
本気で言ってんの？あそこは化け物中の化け物の服までよ。ベルンの庇護を失ったあんたなんてハエ以下のハムシ扱い。ベチッと叩いて潰されておしまいよ。
The bell was snatched from Angie's hands.
ラムダデルタ、そこには俺が行こ
う。Oh shit.
お前は俺を送ってくれるだけでいい。どうせ俺は猫箱の中にしか存在できない虚無の存在だ。だがエンジェは未来に生きなくちゃならない。そしてお前だって未来ある存在だ。だから俺が行く。俺には何も失うものなんてないんだからな。
Outside the cat box.
いいえ、これは私の責任。そして私のけじめ。私が自らの手でやらなきゃ未来は何も変わらない。そして未来の猫箱を何も救えない。
Angie tried to snatch a key from Badwar's hand, but Badwar had no intention of giving it up. Two of them were grimly serious, but from the sidelines, it looked like an ordinary squabble between two close siblings. Emma Delta watched this conversation and shrugged. If she just took one of them to the city book, she wouldn't have to make any enemies, and there was no risk to her. All she cared about was which one would make the story more interesting. Nothing else. But then she finally noticed.
Stop! あんたたち、ちょっとストップ！ストップ！
Oh?
何よ、後にしてよ。
今兄弟で大切な話をしてるんだ。
まずあんたたち、その組み合ってる手を解きなさい。鈴はバトラが持ってるのね。バトラ、跳ねてみて。
Jump?
跳ねる？こうか。
Jingle, jingle.
次、エンジェ、跳ねてみて。
なんで私まで。
The hell?
どうして？
If Badwar was holding the bell, where did that sound come from? Angie hurriedly searched for her pockets. When she did, another blue-ribboned bell came out of a different pocket than the first one.
それ、これと同じ鈴だよな。
そんな、どうして2つ？私は1つしかもらわなかったわよ。
The hell?
どうしてかなんか知らないわ。でもとにかくあんたは図書の都に入れる鈴を2つ持っている。よってあんたたちの仲睦まじいやりとりをこれ以上見ている必要がなくなったわけ。
The pair of them gripped their bells and looked at each other.
最初から今回のゲームはあんたたち2人のものだわ。ただ対決するプレイヤーには若干の変更があったみたいね。
Yeah.
あんたたち2人が競い合うゲームじゃない。猫箱をめぐって蓋を閉ざそうとするバトラとエンジェとそれを開こうとするベルンとの戦いだわ。エンジェはベルン側からバトラ側にチームを変更した。
Yeah.
それだけの話。
ラムダデルタ、俺たちを図書の都へ連れて行ってくれ。
分かってるわよね。連れてくだけよ。あとは今度こそ感激者に徹するからね。あんたたちが図書の都で何をどう戦ってどうベルンにコテンパンにされるかをじっくりたっぷり間近で感激してるだけだからね。
ラムダデルタ、ありがとう。
Holy shit. Oh my god, I think I've been pressing my hand into my desk for so long that I have like a bit of a mark. Oh, it's like the fucking ending of like episode 5 of Higurashi, if I remember. Here's the damn pirate ships. But I feel like this is a good stopping point here, folks. Now it's a fight between Bador and Ange versus Burn to make sure she doesn't reveal the truth. Maybe that's what this entire game has been building up to. Maybe the joy of a story. Even though... God, what is it? How can I describe this in a way? The enjoyment of a story that involves a mystery isn't the grand reveal of it, but just the joy in talking about what it could be. The endless possibilities of what could be inside the mystery box. What could it possibly be? What's the grand answer in it all? And I don't think we are going to get a truth, are we? And you know what? I'm okay with that. Because you know why? It quite literally lets the story live. It does let the story live. By keeping the box closed of whether it's alive or dead, it keeps it alive. Or maybe there is the truth. But I feel like the way we're going, I don't feel like we are going to get the truth. And I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Because, well, I've had so much fun theorizing. You know? I've had so much fun talking, analyzing, theorizing, everything about this game, that if there is a grand reveal, yes, there's a satisfaction of we get to know it, but still there's the destruction of everything else. Like I've said before, at the very beginning of this episode, once the truth is revealed about the story, once you reach the final arc of a story, and it contains a mystery, you're able to go back and unable to view the story any other way besides the truth, the absolute truth. You know what? Let me go on something of a thing. One Piece. I love One Piece. It's a fantastic story. Hell, it's a masterpiece, absolutely. And I've always enjoyed the mysteries of One Piece. You know, what's the ancient kingdom? What is the One Piece? And all that. But, I had this friend, or still have him, have this friend that always complains that, you know, it takes too long to get to that answer. That it won't pay off, or the reveal won't be as good as the setup, as the expectations people have set for it, for, you know, One Piece. And I disagree, because it isn't the answer that we want. You know, like, no matter what, it'll be disappointing to somebody. But the fun, the excitement of a mystery, in any story, the fun of it is to speculate what is the mystery, what's inside the mystery. What could it be? Who are the suspects? How could it possibly happen? You know, like, the question is, what is the One Piece? We have clues as to what the One Piece could be, but it's all about the fun of speculation. It's about the journey, not the destination, you know? Like, yes, we will discover the truth about the One Piece one day. We will. But I'd rather live here in the present when I still don't know what that One Piece is. What the One Piece is, truly. Because it's so much fun to come up with so many different theories of what it could be. Or, you know, this could apply to many other questions, like, what is Blackbeard's plan? What is Eam? What is, you know, like, the origin of devil fruits? You know, what is the world? And the excitement. What is the excitement? Is to speculate with that. Speculate with other people about it. It isn't about the goddamn destination. Never has been. It's always been about the damn journey. And this is what this game's doing. It's not going to reveal the truth. And I'm okay with that. I find that fine. Because I don't have a set truth. I can, certainly, yes, I'll go back to other episodes and view them through a different perspective, but still, I won't know the answer. There won't be one singular truth to every, you know, scene that has happened before this. And I love that. That's a beautiful thing that I don't think any other story has done. Sure, yes, there's ambiguous... Well, I guess you could say ambiguous endings. You know, like, for example, Inception is, you know, at the end, is it all a dream? Or, you know... Or something to that nature. But to this, it's... I don't know, I kind of love it. It's such a bold fucking thing. It really is. It is a bold fucking thing. I can probably tell. A lot of people were not happy when they got to this. A lot of people want a definitive answer. A lot of people do. And which is fair. I understand that point of view, but I feel like this is much better. That story can continue on like this, in this way. It's not about the destination, it is about the journey. It has always been about the journey. This is the greatest work of fiction I've ever read, man. It just is. It just is. It just is. Maybe if I show that one friend this story, maybe they can finally understand what I mean. But who knows? Maybe one day, maybe I'll convince my friends to fucking read this. But 1,000-hour fucking visual novel, but it's worth every fucking minute of it. Will they understand finally? I don't know. Anyway, this has been long enough. If you guys have enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. When you tell me something, put a .com below. Or check out Discord server or my Twitter. Check description below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!